I think it's just the speed and how much data I collected in the short amount of time that I did. Because again, throwing a system up at 115 meters, that's completely out of the ordinary.
For over 5 years, ROCK Robotic has partnered with over 1,000 clients worldwide, completing over 30,000 jobs from quick turnarounds to the most complex projects. We specialize in aerial and drone LiDAR hardware and software backed by our ROCK Pro Services team, processing over 1 million acres of data with expert QC/QA for precise, high-quality results. Based in the US, our industry-leading customer success team works as an extension of your crew, hands-on from the first flight to final deliverable. No matter the scale or challenge, we're by your side, ensuring you capture the exact data you need to succeed.
Hey, I'm Dylan Gorman, and I have been in the commercial drone space for well over a decade, primarily doing mapping and LiDAR data collection.
As an aerial intelligence expert at pilotbyte.com, Dylan Gorman is dedicated to educating and inspiring the next wave of drone professionals. On his YouTube channel, he breaks down drone mapping, photogrammetry, and inspections, showing how these powerful tools are reshaping the industries around the world. For this showcase, Dylan explained why he chose to put the ROCK Ultra LiDAR to the test at this unique site.
Yeah, so it's a site that I look out my window from my apartment before I head to my office every single day. And it has to do with one of the biggest interchanges in Tampa Bay area, where I-275 and I-4 merge. Florida just has a history of constantly redeveloping all their roads for whatever reason. Tampa Bay has some of the most complicated airspace in Florida, outside of Jacksonville and Orlando. We have a big military base. We have a bunch of small airspaces, or small airports, and then Tampa International right there. And so being able to get good data fast is critical, especially with very short windows that they'll allow for approved flights. And data there is extremely key. And getting the right data is even more critical compared to the traditional ways of doing it, which could take a lot of time and a lot of effort.
Dylan wanted to push the Ultra beyond the limits he'd set for himself in past flights without losing the accuracy he trusts.
Part of this project was to have increased data collection speeds while maintaining that high accuracy. And those two usually, as soon as you switch one, the other one switches off. But in this case, I think with the ROCK Ultra, it allowed us to have both of those switches turned on while still being able to get what we need for my client specifically without sacrificing on accuracy at all. I actually really wanted to push it to the test. When I first found out the flight parameters of what I could fly it at, I thought it was a joke of flying at 115 meters. But no, indeed, I flew it at 115 meters and at 7.5 meters a second, which for those that have never flown LiDAR before, that's a little insane.
The learning curve was non-existent. What changed was just how much ground he could cover in a single flight.
Actually, flying higher makes me feel safer, given that I'm not putting, a $40, $50, $60,000 sensor in potential harm's way, especially with my traditional flight height of about, I would say, 60 meters, maybe 50 meters, or even 40 meters on certain applications, right? That was always a little uneasy. And I know in the Northeast and the Pacific Northwest, they have really tall trees, tall power lines, right? And by allowing me to fly at that 300 to 400 feet, there's really no obstacles at that height. Now, with something like this, I think it gives you a lot more leeway. Not saying you can be lazy with your data collection, but it gives you more flexibility in terms of if you're going at more complex sites, whether there's a lot of vegetation or just a lot of elevation change. This gives you the power to choose flight height and speed over just one or the other.
With the ROCK Ultra, precision speaks for itself. Even flying at 120 meters above ground, the system delivers exceptional accuracy, with less than 1/10 of a foot of noise straight out of the raw point cloud. That means survey-grade detail without heavy optimization. The results go beyond accuracy. ROCK Ultra's colorization brings structures to life, from rooftops to light posts, with vivid, reliable detail at high altitude. And with crisp intensity returns, every feature stands out with unmatched clarity. The level of performance is why surveyors can trust the ROCK Ultra to deliver stunning data quality every single flight. The workflow savings weren't small. They were game-changing for how Dylan approached large projects.
Like I said, I spent a total of literally 30 minutes on site. I got out to the site, did my usual process of getting a base station cooking so that, I had my RINEX data for data processing after the fact. Made sure my mission plan was to spec, checked airspace, made sure that there were no helicopters in the air, put up my DRODM, flew, collected my data, came back, and was back at my office within the same hour. That's honestly kind of unheard of.
Sometimes the simplest results say it all.
Absolutely love to have this in my toolkit alongside with, the systems that I need and operate for my clients, right? Time is money at the end of the day.